Yo, what's up, guys? How we doing? What's going on, Bull Runner? What's up, Darren? How's it going, bro? What's going on, lad? You? Thanks, I do. Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting moving the times. It's definitely been less viewers, but I think people will figure it out. I could have done better communicating the times for sure. Sometimes it'd be like that, Darren. Hey, the W's a W though, bro. All right. All right. What's going on, Hungry Queens? What's going on? Kim, good to see you. So, jobs data this morning. Let's talk about it. So, our 4-hour remains the same. Our strong low is still down here. We did get our 1-hour break of structure, and then we got our mitigation, and then we got our continuation, and then off the jobs data, we've kind of SFP'd this low on the 1-hour. If you're looking at kind of our general breakout area, this is kind of why on the long trade that I'm in, this is why we have my stop loss kind of down here on like the 110-500 level. I was using that with confluence of a range deviation on the entry time frame when we dumped down there. And still looking for, to me, this area up here is still a giant magnet. You can see how much scribbles I have up here. Right? To me, this area up here is still a giant magnet. So what's important to me about these dumps, what I keep in mind is that none of these dumps have broken 4-hour market structure. Right? This is still our 4-hour weak high. This is still our 4-hour strong low. So to me, this is just building up. Notice how they're not taking the highs, right? So they didn't take this high when they came up here. They didn't take this high when they came up here. It's just building exit liquidity up here for all the longs that are being built kind of in this wedge between the 200 and the 50 EMA. So until we break 4-hour structure, which has been my take since back here, right? Similarly to why we flip bearish here, right? Until we reclaim 4 hours, until we break 4-hour structure, I would just assume it's going to be up and to the right. Now, however slow they want to go up and to the right is fine as long as they don't break structure. So that's hence the thumbnail for today's stream, right? Is it a dip? Is it an opportunity? Or are we going down further, right? And right now, the time frame that we broke structure on is the 1-hour, but I would kind of consider this an SFP unless we continue lower, right? Because we broke it for like one candle and then we immediately reclaimed the range and now we're pushing back up. Now, volume is not that convincing to me, right? This kind of drift up volume here. But it's just the fact that we're in a 1-hour uptrend and, or sorry, not a 1-hour uptrend, a 4-hour uptrend. And really the fact that we have all of this liquidity up here. So for Kyle, let's go ahead. Let's put a magnet up here. Shout out to Kyle. Amazing dude. He's been sharing amazing info in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, make sure you join. Absolutely free. So we just have a lot of liquidity to take up here. More specifically on the trade that I'm in now, the reason that I took this was, one, we didn't break the range deviation on the 1 hour, but more importantly was this. So on the Bitcoin to gold chart, we touched this untapped demand down here within this daily order block. You'll see we tapped that this morning. Tapped right into that demand level. And also on the 5-minute, while we didn't have a break of structure on the USD pair because it didn't come lower, right? On the gold pair, similarly at the highs, right? So I'll show you this on both of them. Oh, that music's loud, isn't it? Hold on. Hopefully you guys could hear all that. My apologies. My apologies. So if you look at the highs here, so on the 5-minute on the gold pair, right? So we did break the previous high, or wherever you put a low here. We did break the previous high, and then we came back and took out that low this morning. It's kind of your clue that we might see a little bit of a retracement here, right? So we break that, but then down at the lows here, we also set a high, broke that, set a low, and then came up and broke that high. And I entered this long like here, right? So it's like noon on the dot here. And if we go back to Bitcoin here, noon on the dot, let's see. Yeah. So this candle right here, high of that candle is like 111, 113. My entry's like 111.069. So that's where I entered my long. Just kind of been chilling, going off of that gold pair volume here, or gold pair structure, I mean. I also just like, yeah, here's where I was charting it. Little trader's reality here. Bouncing off that key level. We also have this nice red vector on the gold pair. But more importantly, we also have this nice red vector on the USD pair as well. And you guys know the EMA strategy, right? So this was a little confluent as well. We have the 13 EMA cross above the 50. They're really gapped. And we have a dip down. Also, we were talking about on the stream yesterday about how on the 1 hour we had okay, sorry guys, this chart is getting really, really messy. But the EMAs aren't the same on this chart. All right, you're gonna have to deal with the mess for a little bit here. So the 50 crosses the 200, right? And we talk about how you buy underneath the 200, buy underneath 200. So there were just a lot of confluences for me to kind of say, hey, this is probably going to be an SFP for me. Also, if you guys see where we bounced at, we were talking about this last night, how this is kind of the decision block where we expect to bounce from, mitigation, continuation. And then also the fact that this dump is kind of on news, right? So it's kind of like calling bullshit on the market, understanding we're in a 4-hour uptrend, understanding as long as this doesn't break, we're generally going to attack the week high, understanding that we left a bunch of liquidity in the highs, right? That can act as a magnet. So that's kind of just where my head was at with taking this long earlier today. Let's see if we got some more people that jumped in here. Hey, guys, we got 18 viewers, 5 likes. It's free, guys. If y'all don't mind hitting that like button for me. All right. Let's see. What's up, Max? How's it going, buddy? What's up, J-Rock? If it's a dip, I hope it's not guacamole. Yeah, I hope it's queso, man. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate you. Yeah, I need to be better at posting things on X, but I appreciate you, bro. All right. Cool. So, I'm just kind of operating on the assumption that most of you guys have been here for the last few days on the stream. So, a lot of the stuff that we've gone over is still relevant, right? So, we're still in a 4-hour uptrend. We're still targeting the 4-hour week high. These are like, once you understand market structure and you understand where your strong low is, you understand that like the closer you, so back when the strong low was over here, the closer you get to that 4-hour strong low, it's just a better RR, right? So it just makes the trade more and more appealing. Like I think the risk reward on this trade that I'm in is like $200 for $1,000 or something, right? So it just gives you a way better RR. So you kind of look forward to these dips close to the strong low, as long as it doesn't break the strong low, for a chance to get in to attack that weak high. All right, do you guys have anything you guys want to go over? Any questions you guys have? We've kind of covered most of the TA for this range, so we can kind of just talk about whatever you guys want to work on. Oh, we can talk about, yeah, we can talk about Sol in a little bit. There it is. All right, yeah, we can definitely talk about Sol. So we were talking about if this break structure, we're looking for a 5-minute break to come on the way down, probably close to like 209. Got front ran, I think around that 210 level, but this is what, no, I shouldn't have deleted that, right? But this is generally what we're looking for. If we were to shrink this, put it here, right? Looking for your 5-minute break of structure. So where's the 5-minute break of structure? Set a low, set a high, set a low, break that high. What happens after the 5-minute break of structure? Off to the races, right? What happens at the top, at the highs, right? Once you guys start to see this, you see it everywhere, right? What happens? Set a high, set a low, break that high, come back, break that low. What happens then? Correction down. What happens here? Set a high, set a low, break that high, flag out, up, right? So it's just structure again. So something that I wasn't really paying attention to, but shout out to Alex over at Alex O Crypto. So we're at a golden pocket, I believe. Huh? Where does he have his drawn from? I don't have a golden pocket there. Oh, maybe log. Oh yeah, I was on log. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're kind of at the non-log golden pocket here around like 222. So that's a level to be aware of. Let's see. We haven't quite tapped it here around like, so basically at like that 224 level we've been looking at. Around there we have a golden pocket there as well. But we're slowly chugging our way onwards and upwards towards that 224 target. Everything, you should be able to see everything on the trade. Should show you like the time I entered, stop loss, take profit, all of it. I put it all on there for you guys. But it's the 4-hour week high. It's 113,400. But yeah, Sol continues to look good, continues to chug onwards and upwards, continues to break structure. 4-hour just put in a new low. So why is that important? That's important because now if we come up and break this high, then our strong low on the 4-hour would move down here. Right now, our 4-hour strong low is still way down here, like 199. Our 1-hour put in a strong low this morning. So this is a good market structure teaching moment here. So let me get a clean Sol chart here. Okay, so on the 1-hour, right, you break your structure bullish here. That makes this right here, this order block, is a breaker block, right? Or here, we'll make it an order block. right? So this is a breaker block here. So if we were going to retrace, we would expect a reaction out of here. So then what do you look at? Let's say, look at like your 5-minute time frame. What are you looking for? You're looking for like a break of structure on the 5-minute to match the 1 hour out of this zone. Maybe we got like a better one on a smaller time frame. So if you were front running it using the 1 minute, you get a break of structure here. Right? No break of structure on the way down. Ooh, they would have faked you out here on the 1 minute. That's something to keep in mind with these smaller time frames. But that's why it's important to have your key levels, right? Like a 1 minute break of structure out of this zone is going to be more reliable than like one on market open, right? Specifically, I'd be really careful about market structure breaks on market open. We can talk about market open on Bitcoin. We'll talk about that after this because there were a couple signs that we were going to go down. But you could also look for the 5-minute break out of here, which we also got right now. So now we look for mitigation. Looks like we got a little mitigation here. Is that going to be enough? We'll have to wait and see. But generally, we would expect to get a bounce out of there. It looks like where did we come down to? Yeah, it looks like we're hitting our head in our golden pocket a bit here, having a little bit of struggle. So after we broke it bullish, we did break it bearish here. So that's a little bit of a warning sign that we may be coming down out of this golden pocket. So I would wait for this high to break because that would give you a better risk to reward anyway, right? Because if you get long, if you got long here, your stop's all the way down here, right? Whereas if you wait for this high to break, you can put your stop under this newly formed low. And then like to the highs, you're getting like a 1.5, but to 224, you're getting like a 4. That's kind of how I would trade this if you didn't get long on the 1 minute down here. The 1 minute obviously would have given you a nice risk to reward to the highs. That's a 3 to the highs. Even better if you leave a runner, right? But yeah, that's kind of like a teaching moment on decision demand breaker blocks. But even though Bitcoin didn't have the external break of structure that it did on the gold pair this morning, there were still some clues. So here's the main one. So internally, right, once we, or here's the better one. There, I think it was external on the 3 minute. No, there's no structure in there. So it is internal structure, but hold on. I'm trying to find out if there's a time frame where it was external. 1 minute's bearish. No. Okay, so one thing to be really weary of. So if you draw like your momentum on market open, it looks like it's breaking out, right? But you have to understand where your relevant high is, right? So before we put in this low, the last high on like the 3 minute and the 5 minute time frame was here. All right, here's your 5 minute, 2 candles in a row. Here's your 3 minute, more than 2 candles in a row, right? So if you take that high here, all we did was SFP that multiple times. Then volume comes in here, boom, closes below the range, right? SFP, break of structure, floor comes out, right? News dump. So it's definitely something to be aware of, to always watch for the SFPs, especially during market open, things like that, because it's like everybody gets long, oh, we're breaking out, fail to break structure on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, rejection down with volume, big volume comes in, and then we go down for the rest of the day, right? If you're looking at like your open range breakout strategy, right, you have an orb breakdown as well. So there were a lot of clues that we were going to go down. Hidden order blocks. I don't know what a hidden order block is. What do you mean by that? If you just elaborate a little bit. If you guys have any altcoins that you want me to look at, you can throw them in chat. We're just kind of doing a chill stream today. Appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys liking the stream. A failed order block if they don't hold or reject. Internal order block, like it hasn't broke structure yet. Okay. Yeah, post it in Discord. We'll take a look. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what an order block generally is. It's where the imbalance originated, right? It's where the big orders that cause the imbalance in price originated. I just don't know what a hidden order block means. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. No, I don't generally use that, but it definitely does have a reaction. So it's kind of like it'd be like a support level that flipped to resistance. So I could see why you'd use that. Kind of like an inverted fair value gap. Yeah, not generally, Darren, but it looks interesting. Coming up into some supply here, right? Right now. So where would we be watching? Be watching for... Be watching to see if some structure breaks out of this. It's also probably a fib level here. 786 maybe. Yeah, 786. If we can break some sort of structure here, could come to attack the lows. Right now, it looks like just a retest previous highs here. ENA, I haven't looked at ENA in a minute. Yeah, I'll look at ENA. I still hold a bag of that from when you told me to buy some. The MACD hiking strat. Yeah, so it's generally good during New York. That's what I back tested it on. So also important, I only back tested that on Bitcoin. So I can't really speak to how well it works on other tokens. You would need to apply those same rules and back test it. Yeah, Darren, so where I'd be looking if they do that would be right here. So we have, I said do. Yeah. No, would be at this untested demand here, right? So we haven't come back to this level since we initiated out of it. So the good thing about coming to this level as well is that our strong low is right here. So if we get like a 5-minute structure break here, you could actually just put the stop loss below your strong low, and you're getting like an 8-to-1 risk to reward. It's definitely possible that they come down here tomorrow, like you're saying, but the thing is, where they came down to now was already a 3-to-1 risk to reward on the 4-hour. So there's definitely some people that got excited down here for sure. But yeah, coming down to this level, we've had this on the chart since back here, but they never mitigated this demand. So, and what you do have going in your favor of like more downside is that our 1-hour did break structure bearishly. So retrace continuation, it's definitely possible. If we came up to Yeah, we came to our internal 786, and then we came. Let's put it all on here. Yeah, we're bouncing. We're rejecting off the 382 right now. So if we were gonna make a low out of here, it makes sense to do it here because we do have a 5-minute high here. We have a 786, 382 confluence. What would tell us that? So if this low breaks and it closed below there, that could make sense to me. Break momentum, come down, something like that. That's what I'd say. I'd say your first sign of that, Darren, is going to be a loss of this low. And if we do come down there, this area is very, very attractive. If we see like that down here. Okay, let's take a look at ETH. Has ETH? Yeah, ETH continues to tease us with structure. So yeah, this is spending a lot of time down here. Yeah, I agree. I still would love to see these levels on ETH. I don't know if we'll get them, but we are aware of them, and I would still love to see them. Again, ETH remains the same. You need to see a break of 4,500 to flip your 4-hour structure. Until that breaks, this is just a downtrend. It's a downtrend on the 4-hour. For context, let's do this. Whoa. Okay. An old layout. Okay. No. All right. Let's hide drawings here. So for context, if we throw both of these on the 4-hour, Sol flips 4-hour market structure bullish here. Why can't I see my cursor? Hold on. Okay, September 2nd. That's when Sol flips 4-hour structure bullish. September 2nd. Back here. And ETH fails to do so. Doesn't break this high. That's why back here we tell you if you want to long something, long Solana. Solana continues to break weak highs. ETH does nothing. Right? That's why understanding structure is important. That's why understanding what asset you trade based on the current structure of that asset is going to be great, right? Because here everyone wants to trade ETH because ETH's been pumping, right? But understanding structure, Sol is actually more bullish, right? We still have the TA on there, right? Sol is still more bullish. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're trading tokens. So you want to be trading tokens that are matching the market structure that you're trading. ENA. Yeah, let's look at ENA. Sheesh, look at a run this thing has had. Shout out to Julia in the chat. Julia had me buy ENA here. I already got my initials out on that, like 0.6 something here. Shout out to her. Okay, So ENA still holding daily structure. Is SFPing the daily high right now? Not really much to worry about unless you break daily structure. Right now, your daily strong low now is going to be down here. So any retrace down, any retrace down is just going to get you closer to where you can put your stop loss on your daily, which is nice. Hope for $1 last night. I mean, yeah, that's that would be good. A logical next stop here. That's liquidity from this high here. Let's go to the 4-hour. Man, this was a good spot to load up right here. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me a little bit of like what East EMAs look like right now. All right, accumulating under the 200. Okay, so your 4-hour, you break structure here. Okay, actually you break structure bullishly here, then you SFP it, breaking it bearishly. So you break it back bullish up here. So you actually just broke your 4-hour bullish as well right here. You break your 4-hour bullish and it's off to the races. Yeah, any sort of dip is going to be mitigation in my opinion. I would like a dip to like this decision demand. That would be nice. I'm like this. But obviously you close a daily above here and you're probably off to the races. Yeah, I would look for 15-minute structure anywhere going down. Be worth a shot targeting the highs. Or targeting the high. Well, targeting beyond the high actually. Yeah, I like 15-minute structure on ENA. Looks good, Julia. Continues to look good. Shout out to you. I'm in, yeah, your stop loss can be 26%. So if you're playing spot and you truly believe in ENA, then you have a clear invalidation. Obviously, the lower that it gets, the more appealing that is, right? Like 17% stop or whatever. If you're leverage trading it, I would just wait for 15-minute. Pengu. Yeah, we can look at Pengu. So Pengu's daily low was here. You've kind of SFP'd that low. I mean, you technically broke it, but you reclaimed it kind of immediately. The only thing that's kind of concerning to me, if we zoom in, we'll probably see a 4-hour break here, which would make me feel better, but we are hitting a little bit of supply on the daily. Let's zoom in. So you pull the low here, you pull the low here, you break your 4-hour here. After breaking your 4-hour, you mitigate demand. You mitigate demands. What do you get in demand? You probably get 15-minute. You probably get 30-minute. Yep. So you put a 30-minute high in here, you break that high down, and then you get a 30-minute break of structure here. You retrace to your golden pocket. You retrace to your 886. Back to demand here, and then off you go. So again, guys, market structure, extremely important. Being able to identify on altcoins when they have their 4-hour break of structure, it just allows you to trade in the right direction, right? And especially on coins that are having huge moves like this, it's very, very important to get this skill down, right? Because not only does it get you in there, but it also warns you that of the structure break here, right? and then, well, the SFP, right, but it's a little warning sign, and then the actual break of structure here. And then after you break it, you break structure, you could even say you break it like this, but this is kind of like staircasing your structure down with SFP and then breaking it. But then you come up to your golden pocket. You can be like, okay, I'm going to exit my long, maybe open a short, bang, target the lows. You short it down. And what are you just waiting for on the way down? You're waiting for a 4-hour structure break. You get faked out here, but Bitcoin even faked out here. So happens. But the next break, if you're using good risk management, make the money back, right? Why the 4-hour break of structure? Most institutions, most swing traders use the 4-hour. So it's just a really commonly traded time frame. So if the market's moved by traders entering and exiting positions, the 4-hour is going to have a large amount of traders entering and exiting positions. And obviously, you can use any time frame you want, Max, but it just depends like what you use for your bias and your entry time frame. So I like to use the weekly as my macro time frame. I like to use the 4-hour as my bias time frame and the 15-minute to like 1 hour as my entry time frame. Sometimes the 5-minute. If I'm scalping like if I'm scalping like the 1 hour, I'll use the 5 minutes to enter. But you can use any time frame you want for structure. I just teach trade with the 4-hour because if you generally are trading in the direction of the 4-hour trend, you don't have to be that great of a trader to make money, right? Like you can buy the top here, and if you understand where to put your stop loss, you're still making money up here, right? Or you can FOMO in here on this wick. But if you know where to put your stop loss, you're still making money. Oh no, I'm scared. Oh, okay, cool. We're in money, right? It's just understanding like bias. So it's the same thing with Bitcoin. When we were talking about this structure break here, and we said, okay, it's guilty until proven innocent, right? It kept you out of like swing longs throughout all of this, except for no, there was no 4-hour break there. Oh yeah, there's a 4-hour break right here. Except for this fake out here, and then it breaks again. It keeps you out of it, keeps you out of it, keeps you out of it, and then you get back in here, and you enjoying scalping it up, right? But it's just like understanding that, okay, we're going to go down for a while. Or understanding right here, okay, we're going to go up for a while, riding this move up. It's just, if you back test 4-hour structure on Bitcoin, it's really reliable. Yeah, you can look at the 1 day for macro as well. The reason that I say the weekly is because a lot of times you can get, like the daily broke bearish here, but we're at a weekly uptrend golden pocket. Obviously, you don't want to use something like the monthly or something that's like always in a uptrend, because I mean you could. I mean you can just, but you want to make sure that your time frame is at least going to give you an idea of like when the bear market's coming. The daily's a good macro time frame to look at for sure. It's definitely a good time frame. If you're trading like which we are aware of, right, the daily bearish trend, what you're looking for now is you're looking for the 4-hour to break bearishly so you can short it down. Because right now, like if you're using the daily time frame as your bias, your daily time frame is in a downtrend. So you're waiting for your 4-hour, which is currently in an uptrend, to match your daily and to be in a downtrend, to take a short on your macro time frame. So if you were trading with the daily as your bias, right now your strong low on your 4-hour is here. If you come down and break that, you're taking your short. The risk to reward is not great, but if you're looking to like take out this low, you can enter that way. Alternatively, if we come up and swipe this high, right? If we come up and swipe this high, or sorry, not that high, this high. If we come up and swipe this high, then it moves here. So it's still not the greatest risk to reward to there. But usually, yeah, I usually you'd be targeting down here. So since the daily flip bearish. So you'd be entering like this. But generally, if the weekly is bullish, I'm going to be looking for the 4 hour to be bullish as well and looking to take longs, right? Because where does the weekly flip bullish after this dump? The weekly flips, oh, it's still on my chart here, right? Weekly flips bullish here. What happens after the weekly flips bullish? Up and to the right. Right? Weekly flips bullish here. What happens after the weekly flips bullish? Sideways, up and to the right. It's just a good bias time frame. Weekly flips bearish here, down. Weekly flips back bullish here, up and to the right. Right. So last cycle, when we hit like what the first top, right, this 64K top, your weekly puts in a high, puts in a low. See, 2 green candles, 2 red candles, 2 green candles. It breaks that high on the weekly, or that low on the weekly. Your weekly here is now in a downtrend. So your bias time frame on your macro is now down. Right? So from there, what happens? Well, you take your golden pocket. You retrace your golden pocket. If we go on our 4 hour, I'm sure we'll see an entry. Hold on. Let's go to 2021. All right. What happens at your golden pocket? You have 4 hour structure here. So you get a break on the 4 hour here. If you gave it a little room, right? If we took like, you can also just trade the weekly, right? You could have your stop here. But if you were trading on the 4 hour, you could give it some room for your deviation. You get a little bit better risk to reward. Or you put it above the high and you got stopped out and then it did it again and it broke structure. Broke bullish. Well, it broke bullish here, so maybe you closed it, right? See what closed it. Break even and then re-entered it when it broke this bearishly. It toyed with you a little bit up here, is the point, but it broke bearishly here, so you take your golden pocket there. Short there, stop loss above there. It's the same trade. And we'll go over all of this when it happens. Like when the weekly flips bearish, don't worry, I'll be walking you guys through how to short. Like this is why it's not important to be able to call at the top, right? It's just important to be able to watch structure and understand when your weekly flips bearish. So for example, if this were to be a top here, we would be looking for this 98,000 level to break, and then we draw our golden pocket from wherever we end up. Maybe we come back up to 112. We'd be looking for a 4 hour market structure break on our approach up there. We get the 4 hour market structure break, we short it, stop loss above the high, and down the bear market we go. But right now, we're just continuing in an uptrend on the weekly. So there's not really any concern in getting like a massive short down to like the weekly 200 or something like that. Right? That's why it's important to understand structure. And that's why you don't need to be able to predict the market. It's being able to participate with a good risk to reward safely. I hope that answers your question. Put a 1 in chat if that made sense. I'm just interested how many of y'all that clicked with. Hey, John, welcome to the stream, man. First time I've seen your message, I think. Cool. Awesome, guys. I'm glad to hear it. Let's look at some indicators for fun. Sol continues to look amazing, right? Your trend ribbon flips. You get your little FOMO green dot up and to the right. You get your golden cross, your retest up and to the right. Continues to look great. Let's go over to Bitcoin. Let's go to our 12-hour because that looks interesting to me. So on our 12-hour, we're getting our EMA ribbon is about to flip bullish, which is nice. We got our test above it, retraced below it, held below it, trying to get this trend ribbon to flip. Generally, right, this is going to be in an uptrend, a good indication of continuation. Right, we go into a correction, the band flips bearish, you sell above it, sell above it, sell above it, sell above it, flips bullish again, holds, you buy below it, right? Buy below it, buy below it, buy below the 200, flip, buy below it, sell above it, and a bearish one. But it is, obviously it has a little bit more work to do, but it looks promising for continuation if we can continue moving up a little bit. Yeah, mad love, Darren. Take care, brother. Good to see you. All right, guys. Would y'all have any other coins we want to look at? I appreciate you guys being here. Or any other questions you want to ask? Go ahead and throw those in the chat now. Otherwise, we can call it a day. What's an indicator I've used in the past but ditched? Probably every indicator you could think of. I've probably used almost every indicator you could think of. But the main thing that I use is just price action. I just use market structure and price action. Yeah, if you're struggling with trading, if you're in a rut, just try deleting all your indicators off your screen and see if you can understand what you're looking at. If you can't, you probably need to go back to the drawing board. Probably need to go back to learning. Like, indicators are helpful tools in context. They should be understood in context. Yeah, we can look at H bar real quick. I'm down. All right. Yeah, it continues to look good after that 4-hour break of structure. Looks like it got its 1-hour break. What was the trade that we gave y'all? That I gave y'all yesterday was this one. Goes above stop loss, or I think we SFP. That SFP trade would have been nice too. But yeah, I think it continues to look good. It hasn't broke 1-hour structure. It basically looks the same as Sol, right? So you have this 1-hour breaker block here. You come down into the breaker block. You break your 5-minute structure. Did you pull this low? I don't think you pulled this low. No, you didn't pull that low. You break your 5-minute structure here. Looks like you might have broke your 3-minute earlier. No, they didn't give you 3-minute either. Yeah, so you're breaking your 5 and 3-minute structure here. You're getting a retrace to your decision block right now. Let's see if we zoom in if we got any sort of break here. You have a 1-minute bearish break. Yeah, I mean it can come lower, but generally I think it's going. It's going to continue its 4-hour uptrend. And it's 1-hour uptrend. What would change my mind? A 1-hour break of structure. So if you break this low, I'll change my mind. Until then, I think it's coming here. That's what I see. And if it breaks 1-hour structure here, I will only change my mind until we get a 15-minute break, as long as we don't pull this low. As long as we don't pull this low, if we break 1 hour, I'm just looking for an entry to attack this high. %, Dutchy. Yeah. Definitely. Market structure. Nothing. Not any type of analysis made as much sense to me as market structure analysis. It shows you how to actually read the chart. It shows you how to identify good setups with a good risk to reward. It makes the market make sense. Yeah. Yeah. So this is, in my opinion, this was kind of a weak mitigation. So anything lower is just going to be a better mitigation for me for continuation. But that being said, it can definitely just continue up from here as long as it holds this low. All right, guys. Well, as always, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Wave Cipher. Much love. Trade safe, guys. Make sure you join the Discord. It's completely free. Pinned at the top of the chat. Wave Cipher out. You guys take care.